Morning, 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 morning. GMO Tuesday. It's GMO Tuesday, May 16th, 2017. Hope everybody had a great Mother's Day and all the mothers got the hugs and loves that they deserve. Uh, you know, man, this Jess Rollins, let me see here. And man, EPA in the crosshairs, ladies and gentlemen. EPA in the crosshairs. Today we're going to talk a little bit about CRISPR. Everybody is raving about it. It's not GMO technology. However, let me see. I'll go back and find the. It is. Well, it's gene editing, is what it is. And very basic. Let's see here. Very basic is the CRISPR-Cas9 system. Contains two key molecules that introduce a change, a mutation, into DNA. As we all know, DNA, that's that little funny spirally thing that has the knobs on it. They call it a double helix. But that is what makes us up, our DNA. That's what makes up the chemistry of our bodies, plants, animals. It's all the same. And according to science, and this is kind of a proven fact, like 90 some odd percent of DNA in everything is the same. There's only just a couple little differences that differentiate me and you, people, Homo sapiens, from the chimpanzee and the monkeys. So, and the pig, I mean, they've been doing stuff with pigs for years because their tissue and everything is compatible with human beings. So, growing ears and stuff on the pig in the back and weird stuff. Definitely Frankensteinish science fiction stuff. But the fact is, my father had a bad ticker and he had a pig valve in his heart. So, we used to tease him, when he died, we're going to throw you in the frying pan because you're going to be bacon, But, pigs, the parts are kind of that close. That's how close the DNA is. So what we're talking about here is not going in and taking DNA out of over here and putting it in this substance to make a third organism like GMO corn, GMO soy, beets, sugar beets, and stuff like that. What they're doing, okay. The CRISPR-Cas9 system consists of two key molecules that introduce a change or mutation into the DNA. This acts as a pair of molecular scissors that can cut the two strands of DNA at a specific location in the genome so that bits of DNA can then be added or removed. A piece of RNA, for example, called guide RNA or gRNA. Now, I don't know exactly what the RNA, the gRNA. Find a guy he that knows science a little better to explain that. But I do know this: what they're doing in many ways, and this just isn't with food, folks. They're doing this with people to help fight cancers and stuff. So, in one respect, this is a really awesome kind of technology because now we can go in, and this is what makes it dangerous because who has it? Monsanto and the agrochemical companies. But now we can go in and make Frankenstein by clipping the DNA wherever we want. And I'm being very rudimentary here, but we can go in and literally make Frankenstein the way we want him. You take that for what it's worth. I mean, that is my interpretation. I could be a little wrong there. Might be a little exaggerated. I don't know. I'm not real sure. But it sounds like an exciting technology. And if I was a scientist in a medical lab with the ability to do something like this, and I could take a little kid's cancer and go in and clip it and kill it so this child has a great life ahead of them, I would be jazzed and very excited about something like that. And from the way they're saying, you can go in there and just kind of cut, the DNA and do this, manipulate the DNA. This gets around genetically modified organism. This doesn't have to go in front of FDA. This doesn't, and now they're doing this with wheat and rice to get certain outcomes. Is it bad or good? Again, untested in the market. So we don't know what happens when you mutate something. Is it, it's like when we grow, let's take the salmon, for example. They've done something with the hormones to make them grow faster. I mean, let's be real, without manipulating the hormones, you don't get something to grow faster. I mean, what do you think Miracle-Gro is? It manipulates, the photosynthesis process and all that good stuff. It's superfood for the plant. But without Miracle-Gro, you don't get a plant that triples in size in 2 weeks. So you're manipulating a growth hormone in no matter what it is. And when you start manipulating growth hormones, when it comes to something you're going to eat or consume, is it okay? I mean, will the effects of that product after it's been ingested into your system, and do they dissipate? Well, I mean, do we know anything about this fish that grows in 4 months or whatever it is instead of 2 years? What do we know about that? Has anybody eaten it? I mean, I'm sure you're not going to die right away, but will it cause a medical problem? Will you end up, with different issues in your system? I don't know. I don't know, and I'm not, this is, I'm not buying into the argument or the theory that we're going to have 9 billion hungry people in 50 years, and we have to develop food technologies to feed them today. Poppycock. We've been running around this earth for millions of years and have never needed chemicals in our food. We have never needed the nonsense that's going on with all this stuff. So I'm sorry, but when you start putting poisons in the food, and yes, Mr. Baldwin, glyphosate is found in food. It's been found in blood, in urine, in mother's breast milk, and it's a poison. So don't tell me to define a poison. Glyphosate's a poison. It kills shit. And it causes health effects. I don't care how many paid for Monsanto studies there are. I'm going to read you some emails, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see here. William Hayden is an executive at Monsanto. And let me see here. He sent an email. If we went full bore with experts, we could be pushing $250,000 or even more. A less expensive, more palatable approach might be to involve experts only for some of the less contentious part of the reports. Then Monsanto would ghostwrite the exposure talks and gen talk sections. We would be keeping the cost down by us doing the writing, would just edit and sign their names, so to speak. There's emails about this. Recall, this is how we handled Williams, Croce, and Monroe in 2000, referring to another report on glyphosate. They've been ghostwriting for 30 years on glyphosate, ladies and gentlemen. It's been going on a long time. If you think I'm kidding, I want you to Google this. Google this right now. Pause my podcast and Google this. I'm going to put the link in the description. You can go right down and get it. George W. Bush at Monsanto dereg biz. George Herbert Walker Bush, Georgie Sr., greenlighted. He okayed. He put Michael Taylor in play to give us substantially equivalent. It was a big ruse. And this is why when you see what Bush and Obama did, I mean, Clinton and Obama did in between the Bushes, Bush and Clinton are in bed together. There ain't no way around it. And, oh, by the way, the Bush family endorsed Hillary Clinton in the election, you idiots. Think about this. For the last 30 years, we have been dealing with propaganda worse than Goebbels ever came up with. That's how bad the propaganda on this issue is. That is how bad it is. And Bear, they're right in bed with this. And who knows better about propaganda than Bear? Think about that one for just a minute, because they created all the gases, all the poisons, everything. And oh, by the way, the scientists and the people that did all the stuff with the gases and poisoned the Jews and all that stuff, if I'm not mistaken, right after the war, the guy was hired as the CEO of Bayer. Go figure that one. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He did a couple years in jail for his war crimes. And then Bayer hired him as a CEO. Some weird, crazy thing like that. But you research that. I'll bet you find a war criminal being hired by Bayer somewhere in the late 40s, maybe early 50s. But now, of course, Monsanto denies all this stuff. Let me see here. April 27, 2015, William Hayden's. He wrote, Dan, as you know, we are considering the value, advisability of doing more work to help us deal with the International Research Cancer, IARC, the IARC fallout. See attached. Remember, they said glyphosate, probable carcinogen. And we are trying to get feedback from various stakeholders to help us decide on pulling any triggers. Oh, yeah. Daniel Jenkins. 2. William Hayden. Glyphosate. IARC question. I think you and I could get on the phone with Jess Rowland and discuss this pretty openly. He'll give us straight talk. Of course, Jess Rowland is right in the middle of all the 800 lawsuits going on because he suppressed the studies. He was paid by Monsanto to hide studies, to get rid of them, suppress them. And that's what they did. That's what they did. That's what this guy, Jess Rowland, did. He's been caught in emails. They've got the emails. They've caught him red-handed lying about this in the emails, setting up the game, telling how they're going to do this. Pay attention to these emails, ladies and gentlemen. It's insane what they have done. Jess Rowland called to ask for a contact name at ATSDR. Let me see. Next day, said Rowland called him out of the blue. Of course, the Agency for Toxic, that is the Federal Agency for Toxic Substance and Disease Registry. They're trying. Oh, and this is what was in the email. This is what's so telling. Rowland told me no coordination is going on, and he wanted to establish some, saying, if I can kill this, I should get a medal. That was in the email. However, don't get your hopes up. I doubt EPA and Jess can kill this. But it's good to know they are going to actually make the effort now and coordinate due to our pressing and their shared concern that at SDR, the ATSDR is consistent in its conclusions with the EPA. In other words, let's make this shit up. Let's make it all up. Everybody's a guppy. They're going to eat it up. They're going to love it. We're going to lie to them. That's what they've done. That's what our EPA has done for us. They have the emails. I will put the link. This is a CNN article that I'm quoting from right now, a mainstream media article, ladies and gentlemen. The Counterfeit News Network put this out. So that has to tell you how bad this is getting, because Monsanto can't keep the ruse going anymore with the court cases. Everything is falling apart. Everything is falling apart. There's so much conflicting information out there and studies. When is everybody going to say stop? When are they going to say, hey, look, let's just study this. Let's do this. I mean, let's think about something for just a minute, ladies and gentlemen. There's two ladies out there, and you've heard me talk about it before. Vani Hari, the food babe. She found some weird chemical that was in yoga mats being used in bread, and she made a big stink out of it. She parlayed that into a TV show, a very successful TV show, telling people about the chemicals in their food. Then you have another gal, Zen Honeycutt, moms across America. She commissioned a study. But because she commissions a study, and she doesn't have a scientific degree, the study's no good. I'm not grasping that concept, but I want you to stop and seriously think for just a minute. These two young women have gone out and basically started informing people what's in their food. And then you have somebody like Kevin Synapathy, whose mommy and daddy are buttload rich, who doesn't have a science degree. She doesn't hold a degree or a PhD in anything, but bills herself as a science commentator, and she explains science to you and badmouths, puts everybody down. And I'm sorry, but why would anybody go to the lengths that Kevin Synapathy did to discredit and try to say that Vani Hari and Zen Honeycutt are liars? And where'd she get the money to do it? Who backed her on that? Think about that for just a minute. Every publication she writes for is pro-Monsanto. So whether she directly gets a check signed from Monsanto or the companies that she's writing for, Monsanto, she's in Monsanto's pocket because she's their mouthpiece. Bet everything she does is approved before it's pushed out. I'll bet on it. I'll bet on it. And you can bet I'm going to tag that little... Yeah, she's proud to feed her family GMOs. That is poisoning your children. I think that's child abuse, but who am I? I don't know anything about giving kids poison like Kevin Synapathy does. She knows about giving her kids poison because she's proud to do it, she says. She's proud to do it. So, what the hey? One of the things that I find so ironic is, I guess millennials, they're calling them, the past generation here that we have going on from, say, 90 to now, 1990, that generation, their education, when I see the education that they have received, I'm like, I listen to comments, and this generation is being educated that GMOs are great. GMOs are going to solve the world problems. GMOs that the toxicology on glyphosate is say. This is how they've been educated, so they believe. And if you think I'm kidding, look at some of the comments on my podcast, ladies and gentlemen, and you'll see a pattern of responses from people, and you're going, wow, where did this guy go to school? Where did this girl go to school? Where are they getting this information? How are they believing this? I find it ironic that anybody would scream about somebody ignoring science and yet believe substantially equivalent. Anybody who is going to say a word about science being ignored and not address the science that's being ignored on the GMO issue, you have your head so far up your butt, it's not funny. I'm sorry. you're being very ignorant to the facts and the reality of a very, very serious situation. You have been brainwashed into believing something, and I don't know why you want to believe it. It just makes no sense to me. Why, if you're so positive, if you are so positive, glyphosate is harmless, then test it. If everything Monsanto says is true, why won't they let any tests be done? Hello? Hello? Are you home? Wake up. Come on. If what Monsanto is saying is true, let's look at the track record for just a minute. 1901, they put saccharin. They sell it to a company and puts it in the food supply. And instead of the government suing Coca-Cola, they sue Monsanto. At the request of Monsanto. And if you can't see everything that has transpired since those 11 years of practicing the propaganda game and infiltrating the government, you have serious problems. Because after that, we got reefer madness. Then we got DDT. Then we got PCBs. And oh, by the way, everything about DDT, they said the same crap about DDT that they're saying about glyphosate right now. The bald eagle population almost got decimated. Half the salmon population was wiped out. Oh, and by the way, the U.S. government only stepped in. And where did they find it? In mother's breast milk. Give me a break. Give me a break. And now we got PCBs and Monsanto says, oh no, we don't have to clean it up. It's not our mess. Yes, it is your mess, Monsanto. How can you ignore evolution? For years, scientists have argued between creation and evolution. Darwin got chastised for it because he went to the Galapagos and he saw a series of animals and said, hey, well, wait a minute. And he gave theory to it. He gave theory, serious theory and principle to evolution. I don't know many scientists, true scientists, that do not believe in evolution. They may have a faith. They may be a Christian. They might go to the Catholic Church. They might go wherever and worship, but they believe in evolution. They don't believe in the creation. They believe in evolution. So how does anybody with a PhD behind their name look themselves in the mirror and lie about this glyphosate issue, the superweed issue, the superbug issue, and everything involved with GMO technology is absolutely beyond comprehension. It is beyond comprehension, and I'm sorry, but when you put that out there in the public, you're lying to your kid. How do you teach your child about integrity when you put this crap out there and you lie on this level? How do you do it? Monsanto understood something very, very early. John Queeny, the founder of Monsanto, he understood something very clearly, and he passed it on to his offspring when he gave them the company. Man has a fault. It's called pecuniary greed. And if you put enough money in front of most men and women, they'll take it and do your bidding. And that is what Monsanto has been doing. Monsanto hasn't given us anything. Monsanto hasn't done anything good for the world. Monsanto has done a bunch of crap because they purchased everything thing they've done. The positions at the EPA. Do you think for 1 minute Hillary Clinton was given $325,000 just to go tell those bozos, hey, don't say genetically modified corn. Tell them it's drought resistant. It's more palatable and you can sell it. That's what they gave him No, they gave that bitch $325,000 for access, for appointments. That's what they gave her that money for. Access. She's a piece of garbage, traitor. I can't stress enough how crazy everything is. Everybody needs to look at how Monsanto does. When you get in these these conversations, these discussions on articles, and you look at how they tag team, Kevin Sinapathy has a whole group of people. This gal wrote books to discredit somebody who tells us there's chemicals in your food. She's going to write a book to discredit that person? Excuse me? All she's doing... How is this person bad? How is Bonnie Hari bad? I'm sorry. You'll never convince me this woman is a bad woman telling us there's chemicals in the food, bringing something to the attention of unsuspecting people. That's a bad thing? Kevin Sinapathy, when you look in there, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. I mean, how do you look yourself in the mirror, young lady? That's what I want to know. How do you look yourself in the mirror? I hope you go all the way to the bank and you got a lot of buttload of money, because that, you know what? I don't know. Look, people who know me know I've been the guest of a couple governors, but the one thing I have never done was sell my integrity. I never ratted on nobody. I never turned over. I never did anything that I should not have done. When it was my turn to say, hey, I own this, I stood up and said I owned it. Simple like that. So when you write an article that is poppycock and you accept money for it, pecuniary greed at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. Pecuniary greed, that's what that is. And John Queeny of Monsanto, he understood that one flaw in human nature. It's just the nature of the beast. What was it, Forbes? Was it Forbes that said, he who dies with the most toys wins? Was it him or one of them other rich goofball guys that died and left all his money somewhere? But he who dies with the most toys wins. Think about it. As far back as time, what do people do? They rob people for money. They take people's money. They invade a country for wealth, for gold, for oil, whatever. He who dies with the most toys wins. Queeny understood that, and he set Monsanto up to exploit that. Come on. I don't need a PhD to figure that one out. I just follow the dots. Somebody told me the other day that, oh, well, you won't understand this without a PhD. You're screwing around with my food. I need a PhD to understand what I'm eating. We got a problem. We have a problem. Tell me I need a PhD to understand what you're telling me and what I'm eating and what's in my food. No, what I need is flour, water, and eggs that are untainted. That's what we need. We don't need 87 Z-di-bendadita-boo-da-boo-blah ingredients that are this big and that long on a Twinkie package. We don't need 9 million chemicals in our food. It makes no sense to me, ladies and gentlemen, why a farm in Kansas has to grow all the corn in the world to feed the world. That's the bizarro world of Monsanto, okay? That's the bizarro world of Monsanto. MDG blogger, that's right. Organic for greenlivings.com, organicforgreenlivings.com. She got some really cool stuff on there. I took a peek this morning, a couple great articles up there. Don't forget Mary's Heirloom Seeds down there in San Ramon, California. She got some good stuff all the time, got specials. She got a seed bank going on too. I have yet, speaking of seed banks, folks, I've yet to hear back from the Center for Food Safety on this seed bank issue. I have a request, and I just haven't heard from them yet. Foothill Feed and Mercantile. Hey, I was speaking to this gal today. The gal, the company she gets all of her organic grains from will no longer be accepting any kind of GMO corn. They are going strictly. The demand for organic and non-GMO feed has become so great that the company she buys her organic and non-GMO feeds from is going strictly non-GMO and organic animal feed. Pig, chicken, chicks. She got it. Shannon got it. Get a hold of her up there. 775-852-0999. 1330 Geiger grade in Reno. And hey, there'll be some strawberry bowls there over the weekend. I'm going to drop some off. Hey, they're good strawberries, Quinault strawberries. They already got flower. They're ready to start putting berries out. It's that time of year, folks. It's that time of year. Back to the CRISPR for just a minute. I remember years ago when cannabis sativa was illegal everywhere. You could go to jail for 10 years for it. And this was back in the late 70s, and people got to rubbing the flowers together. They got to growing their own stuff in the basement, in the closet, and back bedroom, and all that kind of good stuff. And they started producing different strains of weed, and they came up with cannabis indica, cannabis sinsemilla. People got arrested because it was marijuana. Guess what? When they had it tested and it didn't come back cannabis sativa, they had their cases thrown out of court on a technicality. Not that they weren't possessing marijuana, on a technicality, because that wasn't in the law book. It is now. Only the first couple guys that got arrested for that got that break. Keep that in mind. But the point I'm making is this CRISPR technology, does it circumvent the GMO rules? Does it circumvent the GMO laws? Is it similar to cannabis indica and the cannabis sativa scenario? They don't have to go through the stuff that GMO does. It's gene editing or sequencing. They kind of take everything apart, scramble it up, put it all back together. Like I said, with this technology, you can literally make Frankenstein the way you want. So you have to ask, do we need testing on it? Is this something safe? Perhaps one of you guys can chime in the comment section down below and give a little more information. As I said, I'll put links to the articles in the description. Tune in later, and you never know. You never know. See who comments down below. MDG Blogger. Go check her blog out, man. Marla Dawn Gates, the cutie from the Keystone State. Yes. I'm not sure if it's sunshining back there, but we got rain today, so it's been a happy day for me. I love the rain. Don't forget, Foothill Feed and Mercantile in the Reno area. Non-GMO food, ladies and gentlemen. Organic food. You got that pig, you train him to hold that apple in his mouth. Hey! You don't want to be feeding him poison. You want that sucker holding an apple in his mouth. You want him healthy and fat. You got it. Non-GMO and organic pig feed. You need goat feed? Ask her, she'll get it. So there it is. 775-852-0999. 1330 Geiger grade in South Reno. And they'll have some of them strawberry bowls. Take a look at the weekend wrap there, man. In the roundup or the planter bed update. Yeah, you'll see they're looking good. They're covered in flowers. I'm getting ready to start eating strawberries, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna be eating strawberries. Pancake. I'm gonna have strawberry pancakes. I'm gonna have strawberry frappes, crepes, shortcakes. jelly. I don't care. I'm going to have strawberries. Me and Wilson, we're going to have strawberries. Strawberries. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you hear, hit the like button. Do a thumbs up, man. Subscribe to the channel. If you want notifications, click the bell. Click the bell. That's what they say. You got to click the bell if you want to be notified. If not, just tune in. I'm here every Tuesday, every Thursday. GMO Tuesdays. Got some good stuff coming up. Preservation Thursday. We got some crazy stuff that I've been getting. Oh, man. That's just as crazy as a GMO field, ladies and gentlemen. It's just that insane. And there's a possibility next Monday, this coming Monday, I may be on a foodie show here in the Reno area, a radio show that is hosted by Kelly Rush over at America Matters Media. Great show. Kind of is a local food show here in the Northern Nevada area. However, GMO is food. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if we can coordinate the schedules right now, but there is discussion there. So you never know. You might see me on the radio. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. You have questions, put them in the comments below. We'll talk to you then. If you got a couple extra bucks and you can help the cause, hit the website link, the donate button. And sincerely appreciate it. Still a little rough getting around. We go to the doctors tomorrow. We'll find out about surgery. Let's hope. Let's all keep our fingers crossed that I don't have to go under the knife, because that's just not something I'm looking forward to. I've yet to see anybody walk normal after they've been cut on for their back. It's just kind of one of those things. Ladies and gentlemen, we got rain today. It's a gorgeous day. That's what that means. It is a gorgeous day in the desert. Anytime it rains, you know it, I know it, everybody knows it. We're going to have a great time today. Let's all have a great day, and let's all be safe out there.